The driver responsible for the deaths of 4 children in northwestern Sydney has been sentenced to 28 years behind bars with a non-parole period of 21 years. Samuel Davidson pleaded guilty to 4 counts of manslaughter. The 31-year-old admitted to being intoxicated when he lost control of his 4-wheel drive, killing Angelina, Anthony and Sienna Abdallah and their cousin Veronique. He'll be eligible for release in 2041. Danny Abdallah is the father of 3 siblings who were killed, and he joins us in the studio now. Danny Abdallah, thank you so much for joining me. I can't imagine the pain that you're in. How are you feeling today after the sentence yesterday?
We've just got the family together. We're going out. It was a tough day yesterday, very, very tough for Layla, for myself, for Bridget, Craig, Bob, Michael and Liana. It's very hard.
Samuel Davidson will spend the next 21 years behind bars. What was going through your mind when the sentence was being handed down?
I think from day one, our focus was never on Samuel or the sentencing. Our focus was on our kids and my wife. My focus was on that. And when they said the sentencing, it didn't shake me at all, because it wasn't going to get, if it was going to get my kids back, I would have been overly concerned, but it's not going to get my kids back.
What was it like seeing Samuel Davidson's parents in court yesterday?
Look, I feel sorry for them, because they've had a major loss earlier with their daughter and now with their son.
I heard you say yesterday that your disappointment lies in the way our culture loves drugs and alcohol. How do you want to see a big change?
I think it just comes to the home where, dads encourage their kids to scull, to take drugs. It's just so much in our culture that they just love being really intoxicated. And it's sad, because it could have been anyone driving that car.
How have you been able to cope?
I think it's one day at a time. I wake up, I spend some time with the family, my wife, my kids, just one foot in front of the other.
How are your kids going?
They're okay. They're okay. They're getting their unconditional love from their parents, and we wake up every day. That's all we want to do is make sure that they have that love from their mum and dad.
Since speaking out, have you heard other people approach you about how to get through trauma or how to get through unbelievably tough times?
Yeah, a lot of people have reached out about their grief or their loss. They lose a child, a member of the family, and I think for them, they have realised that when they are able to forgive whoever's done that to them or forgive themselves, there's a sense of freedom, and that they can really begin their journey on getting through the grief.
So what's your relationship with forgiveness like?
Look, I had an option. I think my wife first once spoke it. Do I man up and seek revenge, or do I stay as a dad and forgive the driver? And I took the choice of being a father, because I think if I took the other choice of seeking revenge, it would have brought my whole household down. Liana, Alex, Michael and Layla. It wouldn't have got my kids back. It would have been self-inflicting, and we're so glad that we chose that choice of forgiveness, because it gave us the best platform to move forward. What's happened's happened. I can't change the past, but I can certainly control what lies ahead.
Just when you say man up, have you been speaking to other men about how they've been able to process emotions, and what have you learnt from this time?
I think it's a lot of men have reached out, because we don't really talk about it. And I've spoken a lot, and people have always come to that conclusion. It takes more strength and more of a man to be able to forgive, to see the bigger picture of why and how and where you end up when you do that.
Yesterday you said that you believe that the nation is grieving with you. Have you felt a strong sense of support from people around you?
Absolutely. I've honestly said, I said it yesterday, I've felt the true Aussie spirit, people standing side by side, carrying you in the midst of tough times. Our community, people would knock on my door, they'd leave a pot of food because we weren't able to cook. I think the first 6 months we weren't able to turn our stove on. We didn't turn our stove on. People would just rock up, and the school would reach out, I'm picking up your kids, and you know, if it wasn't for the community, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Danny, I really appreciate you making the time today. Before I let you go, is there any message you would like to send to others who are going through difficult times?
I think with grief, you need to build a trusted team around you. People that you know that genuinely love you and really, that will help you throughout. Thank
Danny,
you.
Abdallah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining me today.
Thank you for having us.